There was a white man by the name of Howard. Howard was given a 4-year sentence for violating an underage teenager. You see, he got busted in 2017 in one of them Chris Hansen meetups. You know, when they meet somebody on the chat, then they go to their house. Well, Howard got busted and caught up in one of them situations, which led to law enforcement going to his house and taking his computers and all his recording devices. Let me ask y'all something. What do y'all think they found on his computers? Due to YouTube policies, I can't say what it is, but y'all can say what it is. Let me know in the comment section. Now, for the first 21 days of Howard being locked up, he did not get assaulted or beat up. Why this didn't take place? Because didn't nobody know his charges. In fact, if you go up to somebody and ask them what their charges are or their paperwork, you can go to the hole. So Howard was safe for now. It was May 16th at 1:15 p.m. when this young black dude was put in a cell with Howard. Now, Howard was one cell away from me, so I could hear everything that was going on in that cell. Now, at this time, y'all, we're going to call the young black dude D. D was kind of like me. He was a neutron. You ask, what is a neutron? A neutron is a person that is not affiliated with no gang or no organization in the prison. When you're not a part of a gang or organization in prison, you are liable to get beat up, extorted, and possibly raped. If you ain't about your business and willing to push that blade, well, them things can happen to you. Matter of fact, one of the two or the three will happen to you. Now, D been locked down for at least about 2 months now, and he is feeling the pressures of prison. So he is considering joining the Gangster Disciples for protection. Here's the thing though, when you join their organization, it's required that you gotta shed some blood on the white inmate. Either you're gonna do it with the rumble, or you're gonna have to push that blade. Either way, blood must be shed. And this is where the story begins. Yo, Howard, what you do to get up in here? At this point, y'all, D is talking to Howard in the cell. Howard like, man, I don't really want to talk about it. D was like, man, you look like one of them freak creep dudes. Howard was like, I can assure you, I am not like that. I'm not one of them type of guys. D then was like, if you ain't like that, let me see your paperwork. I gotta make sure you ain't one of them type of dudes that be touching on kids, man, because you got that type of face. You giving me them type of vibes. After D finished his statement, Howard got up and left the cell. I'm not sure where Howard went, but I know he walked past my cell. So about 2 minutes later, a guard walked past my cell and stopped at D and Howard's cell. Now remember, y'all, I told y'all I could hear everything that's going on in that cell because I'm right next door to it. So when D asked the officer, did he check Howard paperwork? And the officer said, yeah, he ain't here for touching kids. I heard D say less. Howard got bad charges, y'all. Now that gave D the green light to pop off from Howard. Now in this prison that we was at, if your cellie got bad charges, you gotta get him up out of there. It's your job to get him out of there, or somebody gonna get you and him up out of there. Plus, this was a win-win for D. Not only he get to push that you know what on Howard, and this is initiation to get into the gang. So D was more than willing to get this done. Now here it go, y'all. It's 9 p.m. Lockdown. Time for all of us to go to our cells and lock down for tonight. Now earlier that day, D went to the GDs and let them know what the play was. He let them know tonight I'm knocking this piece off. So the homies gave their blessing and they said, get on it. Now this particular night, y'all, we had one guard. And around 1 a.m., this guard would go to sleep between 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. The hour before shift change at 5 a.m. These COs up here sleeping on the job. So D knew he had 4 hours to get it in. Now y'all, Howard is sleeping at the bottom bunk and D is at the top bunk. D hop up off the top bunk and go to the toilet and start peeing. Howard down there sleeping like a baby. Now Howard's head is kind of facing the toilet. So as D peeing, he kind of swings it that way and he peeing on Howard. Howard like, what the, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Now this is when I woke up, y'all. So D got to start punching on him like, shut up, man. Be quiet. He got to punching on him. Now at this point in time, y'all, Howard like, help. D grabbed him by the mouth like, go mouth. He like, So Howard's voice is muffled at this point. Now I couldn't see what happened. I couldn't see what was going on. But I only can assume that D done choked him out, because I didn't hear too much after that. Later that morning, we had to stand outside of our cells for count. Well, D was out there, but Howard wasn't. What do y'all think D did to Howard? Let me know in the comment section. When the guard got to D's cell, he was like, yo, where your bunkie at? Why he ain't out the bed? D was like, I don't know. The guard then went in the cell like, hey man, get your butt up. Howard did not respond to him. Plus the cover was over his head. The guard like, hey man, I said get up. The guard then was like, hey, I said. Before he said, I said, D ran up in the cell, was like, boom, boom, boom. He got the punching on the guard, which led to a scuffle in the cell. When that happened, y'all, I instantly ducked off and went in my cell because I didn't want no problems, no issues, no part of that. It was 3 guards down at the bottom tier that shot up there, and they got up in that cell and they worked D out. After the situation was handled, it was discovered that Howard was beaten to death. It was officially ruled death by strangulation. I guess y'all, D took it too far, but hey, this prison, right? D will go on and catch a body street charge for this murder, which led him being shipped to a level 5 closed custody security facility. And well, Howard, if he didn't ask Jesus to forgive him for his sins, a one-way trip to hell. When D arrived to Red Onion, which all high-risk Virginia inmates go to when it's the end of the line for them, you know, the last stop, he ended up having his life taken away from him because of a guard that was on the bad end of a Glock dookie. You see, D was in there on gang time. He earned his spot in the GD organization for putting in that work on Howard. During this time there at Red Onion, D became a problem for the administration and the officers. He stayed bucking on them COs. And when I say he was bucking on them COs, he stayed with that sword of justice, and he would push it, and they knew that. It just wasn't the guards neither. He was applying that pressure on the inmates also. All in the name of gang. So one day, D would find himself in the chute, which is the hole inside of the hole. When D was back there, he kept getting into it with this certain guard. This guard would spit in his food, tear up his mail, and he kept antagonizing him. The older G was like, yo D, check this out. This is how you get back at him. Get your water bottle, put some feces in it, put some urine in it, and just let it sit. Let it stew. And when that CO come back around, push it all up in his face. Make sure it get all up in his mouth and all up in his nose. And yeah, D did it too. He put some urine in a bottle and some feces. Closed it tight. Put it there in the corner. One day, this particular guard was on one. You know, on that BS. When he came to D's cell to put his tray in the slot, D rose up like, surprise! Boom! Feces, urine, all that. Went all up in his mouth, all up in his nose, all in his eyes. He like, ah! 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 D all in the background like, yeah, I told you, I told you. How does my taste? How does my taste? The code was called, y'all, and the goon squad was on their way to extract D up out of his cell. When they got in front of the cell, they said, yo, cuff up, inmate, now. With everybody's surprise, D cuffed up with no incident. I guess he figured he got his off. Now this is where the story takes an evil twist. The officer that got hit with the Glock dookie told the lead officer that he was going to take lead in transporting him. D was talking real crazy to him as he was leading him off the tier. When they got to that elevator where the cameras don't work at, the guard shoved D up in there with the other 2 guards, and they got the beat, you know. Boom, boom, They was beating the brakes off of D. 3-on-1. D is handcuffed, can't do nothing but take them blows. When they finally got off the elevator, D could barely walk, so the other two guards have to hold him up like this and drag him. When they got to the isolation tank, they stripped him butt booty naked and beat him some more. When the other two officers left out of there, the one that got hit with the Glock dookie looked like this and looked like that. Then he pulled out his you-know-what, and he got the urinating all on D. D couldn't move. D was helpless. With one last act of defiance, D reached up and grabbed the officer's nutcrackers. Right? He got the banging D out, punching him in his head, punching him in the head. Boom, boom. Let me go, let me go. A guard came in that heard this commotion. He came with the billy stick, came up on D and was like, boom! Right upside his head, cracked his whole dome piece wide open. Rest in peace, D. A lot of y'all cats do not get it. When you find yourself locked up, you have no friends at all. These dudes are murderers, liars, and thieves. And some of these cats in here like men. I don't know who told y'all that this ain't what it is, but this is exactly what that is. If you can't throw these or get a hold of some steel and know how to use that steel, you are in trouble. You better join the gang. You better join the organization so somebody can have your back. But be careful, because when you sign up for these gangs and these organizations and you got 1 or 2 years to do, you can end up crashing out and getting a whole lot of time added to your sentence. I done seen it time and time again where dudes that wasn't built like that, y'all ain't never going home. You crashed out. You went in there and pushed that blade on the op. Now it's over. Yeah, your girlfriend that you had out there on the outside, she was going to wait for you for them 2 years. Yeah, she was going to do that. Your little daughter that was 1 year old, that she would have turned 3 when you got out. Now she's going to be 35 when you eligible for parole. So think about that. Really think about that. Number 1, stop committing crimes. Stop being a criminal. Go get a job and stop complaining and making excuses. This is the Dante Show Network, and I'm out.
The Dante Show